Go ahead and give it a nose, shall we? A nose. Boom! Okay. And welcome back to the Beer Garden. And if you're here because you like beer, let's be honest, why else would you be? Please click that subscribe button down below, because I have low self-esteem and lots of subscribers and followers. Makes me feel really good about myself. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for all your suggestions on beers you would like me to review. We started this channel with cheap brew reviews, and we still do them. But our menu, our palate has expanded and grown because, let's be honest, there are only so many cheap beers nowadays. But I love getting suggestions and nominations, if you will, for beers for me to review, and I thank you. Comment down below if you have had this overwhelming request for New Belgium's Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. Now, you know me and IPAs, we don't get along too well. I'm not really sophisticated enough to be an IPA guy, but I've kind of taken on the challenge and really try to face my fear of the IPA and really sort of get in there, figure it out, and see what I like about it. And I have found that, I do have a certain opinion about New Belgium's Fat Tire. The Voodoo Ranger series, I have taken a bit of a shine to it. And the Imperial IPA, 9% in this 12-ounce can. I'm not that knowledgeable about Imperial IPAs, but if I recall correctly, they come from Russia. The Imperial cold, dark Russian winters, they brewed the darker beer to satisfy, keep you warm during winter months. I don't know if that's true or not, but let's pop the top and see what we got. 9%. And this was part of a hoppy pack, Voodoo Ranger Hoppy Pack, which has 4 different types of their Voodoo Ranger beers, all IPAs. Let me know what your favorite is down below. I'd love to hear. And it's time for the pour, and the brand new, soon to be sold out for 2023. Look at that. Brand new edition of a Beer Snob's Cheap Brew Review pint glass. Time for the liquid to hit the lips, and everyone's so fired up on the soon to be sold out pint glass. It may be sold out already. I'll have to check. All right, and speaking of, oh man, I could smell it from here. Check out some of my other reviews for other Voodoo Ranger beers. Man, 9%, yeah, that shot the head right down. I've noticed with higher alcohol beers too, regardless of how hoppy they may be, the head, it just sort of dies out. All right, nice and clear. Very sort of coppery in color. And again, depends on the monitor or the phone you're watching this on. I'm looking at it in real time right now. It's got a very sort of, like I said, coppery. I almost want to say an amber, maybe almost like a Oktoberfest or Märzen style in color, which I like that color. Let's go ahead and give it a nose, shall we? A nose. Boom! Okay. 9% the Imperial Russian IPA beer. You can smell the alcohol wafting off the top. Sounded a bit like Sean Connery. People have described me as being Sean Connery-esque with a beard. Sean Connery. I don't know where they just went. But anyhow, yeah, strong alcohol notes off the top. Not getting anything floral. I do sense a sort of a dank, almost like a mustiness, kind of like a campground bathroom. It is rather intimidating, I would say. The nose is rather intimidating. Okay, time for the liquid to hit the lips. So says the glass. I don't want to drink alone, so grab yourself a beer and let's go. Cheers. %9 IPA. Oh, hey, here's a little pro tip for you. I mentioned this in some of my other videos. Whenever I'm drinking out of a glass, a proper Beer Snob's Cheap Brew Review pint glass, I always keep my finger underneath of it, because inevitably what will happen, especially on hot days, not like today, but the glass will get sweaty and fall out of your hand. Or if you have too many of these 9% Imperial IPAs, glasses tend to get a little slippery, if you know what I mean, after a few of those. So I started a long time ago, just keep my little finger underneath the glass like that, and it makes it a lot harder to drop the glass after you've had 6 or 7 9% IPAs. So there we go. Look at the lacing. Lacing's hanging in there nice. I'm feeling warm now. The Russian Imperial IPAs. Are my ears turning red yet? Okay. The mouthfeel is strong. This is sort of like one of those old-time boxers that you see where the guy's bald head and got one of the big handlebar mustaches, and he's shirtless, but he's got the white pants on. And back when they used to fight like this, they'd fight and punch with the back of their fists. And the guys really weren't that built, and they had a little bit of a beer gut themselves, and that's kind of what this tastes like. I don't know how other to describe it than that. A shirtless prize fighter from a long time ago in the black and white days. Coming up, speaking of, I'm going to rate this brew, Voodoo Rangers from New Belgium Imperial IPA out of 5 stars. How good a beer is it? In my opinion, out of 5 stars. It is very strong. It is a very manly beer. I don't see the ladies liking this at all. It has, at 9% alcohol, I describe it a lot. With the stronger alcohols, it reminds me of Canadian malt liquors. I spent some time in Montreal. I was in Montreal in the summertime and in Montreal in the dead winter time in the middle of a blizzard. And I remember going down to some of the local shops and picking up cans of beer. And really, I think their light beer starts at 9%. And so whenever I think a higher alcohol beer, it reminds me of Montreal. Also, when I was in Windsor, Ontario, it reminds me of Canadian beers and malt liquor. Very similar. If you like Canadian beers, I think you would like, hold up the can, they say, Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. I'm now starting to sweat a little bit. It is warming me up considerably on this cold winter's day here in the dead beer garden. Who would be drinking this? Perhaps bald guys with a handlebar mustache with no shirt on and white pants, prize fighting and punching with the backs of their fist. Definitely you would eat this with like a steak. Give me a baked potato steak, wash it down with a 9% Imperial IPA. It's a very manly, very hairy, very muscular beer is how I would put it. So, out of 5 stars, where do I rank? Hold up the can, they keep telling me. Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA, and out of the Voodoo Ranger series, how do I like it? Again, I'm sort of a noob to the whole IPA thing, because I'm not really sophisticated enough to appreciate an IPA. However, out of 5 stars, it's not bad. It's just really strong. But there is a quality there that I've come to know Voodoo Ranger for. They have a consistent quality and a consistent sort of taste and style to the way they brew beer, which I appreciate that. You may hate it, but it is consistent. And in today's brewing world, it is kind of difficult to, establish something and then keep it consistent throughout your brew. So, out of 5 stars, I'm going to rack you up at a 4 point. I want to say 6. I don't know if I can say 6. 4.7 out of 5 stars. I don't know why I was struggling so hard with that, but I wanted to make sure it was a proper score. What do you think of that score? What do you think of Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. Tell me down below. Don't hold back, because I know you won't, because the internet is a cruel, mean world in which we all live in nowadays. But it can also be a nice place where we all get together and enjoy something common like a good beer, which is kind of what I want to do here on this channel. So I appreciate your sub and support, and share this video as well if you like it. I don't pay for subscribers. I'm cheap by nature. I only spend my money on beer. I don't pay for bots. I don't pay for followers and all that stuff. So every number of subscribers you see down there are a real person, or maybe it's a bot, but I didn't pay for it. They're just a natural subscriber, and I appreciate that. Keeping it real right here on a Beer Snob's Cheap Brew Review. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. Check out more of my 160 brew reviews to date, and we'd love to have you as a subscriber on Facebook, also Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and love to have you all the way around. And it's a beautiful day here to drink beer. It's always is in the beer garden. So grab yourself a beer and you drink that beer. Cheers.